Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here and joining us both in person, and are we doing a virtual feed on this too? Fantastic. So that is great. I hope a whole bunch of people are tuning in right now to commemorate the completion of the Pikes Peak Reservoir. So this reservoir is a critical component of our city's infrastructure, offering increased water capacity, safety, and reliability to serve our growing community. I want to provide you with just a little bit of background on this impressive reservoir behind me. Through a lease agreement with the Washington State Parks, Bellevue Utilities has owned, operated, and maintained the Pikes Peak Reservoir and pump station facilities here in Bridle Trail State Park for more than 50 years. Bellevue Utilities did a thorough, thoughtful job when considering replacing the small and aging reservoir that was here before. They worked closely with the community for years to make sure it was done right, with minimal interruption to the community and with respect to maintaining this lush, natural environment you see surrounding us here today. Replacing this reservoir was a high priority project for the city because this water system provides essential water services and fire protection to the residents here in Bridle Trails and the nearby Pikes Peak and Cherry Crest neighborhoods. I hope you've had an opportunity to view the reservoir and the project progression on the display boards here and on the city's website. It's really remarkable to see the work done by so many to advance from a smaller 1 million gallon still reservoir to this impressive 1.25 million gallon reservoir, concrete reservoir that will require less maintenance and will do a better job in terms of withstanding a potential earthquake. So thank you to the Bellevue Utilities, a number of you here today. Thank you so much for all your efforts, your planning, your design, your construction partners, and a big thanks to our community for coming together to make this much needed project happen in our city. So with that, I'd like to introduce Deputy City Manager Nathan McCommon for a few remarks as well. But again, thank you for all being here.
Well, it is truly a pleasure to be here with everyone and celebrate. Thank you, Deputy Mayor, for those good words. I want to take a brief moment to thank everyone who came together to plan, design, and construct such a valuable resource for this city. The project team ensured that we'll be looking forward and planning for the extended future of Bellevue. The new reservoir will serve our residents' water's needs for generations to come. And that wasn't an easy task, as you know, I think is represented by the people here today. It was completed through the collaborative and combined efforts of the Community Advisory Group. I see many faces of that group here today. The Utilities Team, the Environmental Services Commission, seated behind me here are a couple representatives, and the Bellevue City Council, and of course, City Administration. And on behalf of City Manager Brad Miyake, thank you to everyone who gave your effort to bring us to this moment today. We're excited to unveil the new Pikes Peak Reservoir. That's hard to say, by the way. And I'm going to leave you with one thought that the Deputy Mayor touched on that I discovered during this whole process, and that it's made of concrete. And that's actually a really practical feature because it's not painted, nor will it need to be repainted, which means the maintenance crews don't have to come in here that often, which leaves the people who are using the park in peace and the people who live around the reservoir in peace. So it's a really smart engineering choice to get it to this point today. And I appreciate the project's team's awareness of our responsibility to the community and their thoughtful attention to every stage of the replacement project. So with that, let me pass it over to Navo Tal, our Utilities Director, who will tell you a little bit more about the project team.
Thank you. I don't know if it can go as low as it needs to, but I hope you can hear me. Welcome. Welcome to this ribbon cutting and opening ceremony for this reservoir. I will tell you that utilities doesn't get this opportunity very often because most of our infrastructure is buried and underground. So we embrace this, and I really appreciate everybody being here. Utilities has a lot of infrastructure. It's just that most of it's not visible. And we have a pretty strong, robust plan for how we take care of the infrastructure when we replace it or rehab it, and we call it our asset management program. So this project has been on the books for a number of years. And it's interesting that it had multiple drivers. Not only was the old reservoir getting old, but it was undersized. We needed more for just not only regular capacity, but fire flow. And the third driver was seismic. It was the old reservoir wasn't seismically stable. So bunch of different drivers that came together that told us that we needed to do something about the old reservoir, and we worked closely with the community to get their collaboration, and it's been many years in the making. I will tell you that I myself have worked with the community for almost 10 years on this, and the active project has taken 7 years and $10 million, almost $10 million. So it's a very significant investment for us as a department, as a utility, and I really appreciate the council support, the city manager support, and the commission support in getting this project done. And it's taken a lot of people, hard work from a lot of different individuals to make sure that this project was successful. So let me just take a minute to just acknowledge some of the team players, teams members, and it's a lot of number of folks to recognize. I want to start with the utility staff. Under Jay Hummel, the project manager's guidance, and Rick Peterson, our construction inspector, Artemis Zafari, construction engineer, Hyun Nguyen, construction supervisor, and Doug Lane, planning engineer. And then we contracted with Consor Engineers and had Nathan Rosted and Tom Lindberg from Consor Engineers doing the design for this project. There was a fair bit of outreach, as the community knows, and that was pivotal in the success of this project, was the community outreach and the collaboration we had. And I want to thank Enviro Issues and with John Cheney as the main project manager. Thank you, John. And finally, but not last, but the people who actually did the construction, and that is Harbor Pacific Contractors with Jason Garner as the project manager. So thank you. This is our pride and joy, and I just feel like we did a great project with and minimize the disruption to the neighbors as much as we could. And how could I forget to thank the neighbors, especially the ones that are right around the project site. Their lives have been impacted with the traffic and the noise around here, and I just appreciate your patience. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, that was a career-ending move. I forgot to tell you that, of course, the next person that I want to introduce is our council member, Conrad Lee, who has been instrumental in supporting us through, because he is the liaison to our Environmental Services Commission. So next, I will turn it over to Conrad.
Well, thanks, Nav. That certainly is a career-ending move. And she's actually doing it voluntarily. So I don't know what everybody knows. We'll be missing her, very much so. So I want to take this opportunity to thank her. And this is a real good example of what Bellevue is. It's amazing. Bellevue City, we're a big urban city now, and we have still environment like this in the middle of the city. It's amazing what we're looking at. And we are able to preserve it. And that's even more amazing thing. And so I've been living in Bellevue for 55 years, and I've been on the council for 30 years. And I'm still amazed what we are doing to our community. It's the Bellevue way. Bellevue maintains, we said that, we value diversity changes, but we, however, respect our past. I think this is what we are doing, and it's just amazing. And so, as a citizen elected representative, as a city council member, I want to make sure that I represent the residents, the people who live here, that we do have a wonderful, wonderful city, a wonderful community. So the work we're doing here is very memorable, and however, it's not easy. We have to work hard, like it's been done, for this project as a good example. And I want to also, on behalf of the Environmental Commission. That is a very group of dedicated people. After 30 years on the council, I've never served on. I serve on almost all the committees there, as liaison to everyone, except Environmental Commission, because this is a group, a what do I call Environmental Services Utility Department. It's you don't see it. You don't. The only time you notice is when the fresh water doesn't come from the tap, when the waste storm doesn't go out through the system, when flooding takes place. Otherwise, you don't notice it. And these are the things most people don't notice. So I think I want, again, compliment. And also, it doesn't happen as the people supporting it, which is Environmental Commission. And I was really very, very impressed when I finally had a chance to serve as the liaison from the city. And before me, the deputy mayor was the liaison. So he didn't know what he gave up, and I took over. And I really became so much appreciate what utility department do, and all the people that works for the utility department. And also, because they serve the community so well. And I also want to mention we have Council Member Janice Zhang with us. She's also a citizens representative, so thank you. And so, we have thanked everybody already, but I just want to emphasize again that the project team, did a wonderful job. This is not an easy job, as you can see. And also the community for their critical role. Without the community support, this project would not be here from inception, conception to completion. And projects like this doesn't happen without community involvement. The community advisory group was made up of more than 15 caring community members dedicated to this project. They care about their neighborhoods, they care about their park, and they care about the city's water infrastructure. You'll notice there's a display board in the name of each member of the community advisory group listed. We thank each of you for your invaluable contribution. For those of you watching online, these names are also listed on the city's website. Just search Pikes Peak Reservoir. Also, I want to thank and acknowledge one name particularly on the board, which is Alice Prince, who was with the Bridal Trails. Give her a big hand. Yeah, she is with the Bridal Trails Community Club. Unfortunately, she has passed in December of 2021. She was a very involved and thoughtful member of this community advisory group. We are grateful for her contributions and know she would be so pleased that the reservoir was completed. So we want to, again, give her a big hand, acknowledge, recognize, and remember her. So thank you again to all of the community groups and residents for your insight and contribution. Because of you, the best decisions was made to build this new, more reliable reservoir right here in the same footprint of the old reservoir. Now it's time for us to celebrate and thank you all, and we are ready for the ribbon cutting and to commemorate this moment. Thank you. Before I make one mention, we have a couple of utility commissioner members sitting here. They don't want to have their name mentioned because they want to be, want to be modest. But we do want to thank them. Thank you very much.